Well, welcome everyone to the Giants Rundown for the first Cactus League game of the season for the Giants. Today's February the 25th, Friday, and I'm Andrew Baggerly here at Scottsdale Stadium. The Giants beat the Arizona Diamondbacks by the score of 7-6 today. No, you didn't see non-roster pitcher Casey Daigle jump into the arms of minor league catcher Chris Stewart when they got the final out. But there was a late rally by the Diamondbacks, and they had the tying run at second base when Daigle struck out an Arizona farmhand to end it. And Bruce Bochy said he heard a few interesting things from the fans in the stands. One guy yelled, "You can't start the torture already. You got to work us into this slowly." And a lot of the fans just stayed to the end and were cheering. It was a different crowd. I mean, if you've been here in spring training past years, you realize that the fans stayed to the end. Most of them did. That isn't the case usually, and they were really into it. The stadium was pretty full just a few minutes after the gates opened. So really you could sense a big vibe here. They've got the Championship Giants banner that was on Market Street. They put that in the front of Scottsdale Stadium. It welcomes fans, first thing you see. They got the logo painted behind home plate, has World Series champions on it. So it's obvious that something different happened to the Giants last year and that they're a different franchise right now, having won that World Series. In terms of the result, obviously, there's not much torture that goes on in spring training. It's not the result of the game that matters. It's more about the process. But Bruce Bochy was pretty happy with both today. Obviously, they got a nice result, and the process was good. It looked like everyone had a fairly productive day. Even Tim Lincecum, he gave up 4 hits to the first 4 batters he faced. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning. I was checking out the radar readings from the scout section, and he was at 93 miles an hour. He looked pretty crisp. Didn't throw hardly any changeups. It was fastball slider. He used to get to the point where he was really focused on getting results, and now I think he's just grown up as a pitcher. He's focusing on the process and on his fastball and his slider. He knows his changeup is a pitch that's going to be there for him. It's probably the best pitch anybody throws in the big leagues, and he could have used it to get out of some of those early jams, but he didn't, because that's not a pitch that is a priority for him to work on right now. So anyway, he felt good about his outing, even though he didn't quite have. He got to his pitch count before he made it into through the second inning. But was healthy and felt good and didn't seem bothered by those 3 runs. Madison Bumgarner gave up 1 run as well, a home run to Xavier Nady on a changeup that he left up in the zone. But he was throwing 91-92. I saw an 89 in there, but mostly 91-92, which is way above where he was at this time last year. Bumgarner was supposed to be the number 5 starter coming out of last year's spring training, and he got sent to the minor league complex way earlier than anyone had anticipated, and just wasn't prepared physically or mentally to start the year with the Giants. And now he's a different guy. He's definitely throwing with a little more life early in the season. So he was pleased with his 2 innings of work. You saw Javier Lopez. He faced 3 right-handed batters. He's a lefty. And Sergio Romo faced 3 left-handed batters. And they went 6 up and 6 down between the 2 of them. Lopez, I'll tell you what, his stuff was moving just like it was the NLCS all over again. And Romo's really proud of a sinker that he's developed. Jeremy Affeldt helped him with the grip, where he changed his thumb position. And instead of throwing his 2-seam fastball with a lot of run, now it's really getting a little more dependable sink, and he's able to get more ground balls. And that's something that he thinks he's going to need to do to be able to stay in this league and be successful, as good as his slider is. And he was really happy that he didn't throw a single slider for the first time in an outing that he could really ever remember in his baseball life. That slider is such a good pitch, but as we've seen on occasion, he can be a little long ball prone, especially that big homer he gave up to Eric Hinsky in Atlanta in the division series, where he ended up being the winning pitcher when the Giants bailed him out. But he'd like to be able to get that ground ball when he needs it, and he thinks that sinker is going to be a big pitch for him. So he was really excited when Miguel Montero rolled one over and grounded out. On the hitting side, the Giants sprung to life for a 5-run second inning. Mark DeRosa, who really hasn't been healthy in 2 years, he had a lot of life in his bat today. He hit a hard line out that nearly took the center fielder's glove off. Then he had a nice single and drew a walk. So good at-bats from him. Pat Burrell hit a double off the wall. Buster Posey hit a 2-run double among his 2 hits. Cody Ross ripped a single. Ross left the game a little early because of a migraine headache. really was in kind of poor spirits when he left the ballpark. So we'll see. We'll check on him tomorrow. Mostly they were just good at bats up and down the lineup. Miguel Tejada struck out in his first at bat in a Giants uniform, but got a single later. And Pablo Sandoval had a sacrifice fly after he took a pitch in the dirt, and also he walked on the 3-2 pitch that was up and away, so showed some improved plate discipline, which is going to be important for him. He did ground into what looked like it could have been a double play, and a year ago it would have been a double play. He grounded into 26, led the NL last year. But he's getting out of the box a little better, running down the line better. Certainly looks more athletic than he did at any point last season, and he was able to beat the double play relay throw. So Bruce Bochy would like to see him not offer at all those pitcher strikes in the bottom part of the zone, really make pitchers start to elevate a little bit where he can get the belt-high pitches that he can drive, do damage on. But that's one project. The other project is actually being able to beat out those double plays when they do happen. So Pablo showed some good wheels and some good restraint, and those can only portend for good things. So a lot of other notes. Aubrey Huff, there's a note about him that leads my notebook for tomorrow, and then more notes and quotes and stuff in the game story. And I'll write a little more about Sergio Romo for the blog, which I'll post up there in a few minutes. But that's about it for today. A positive day. Everybody healthy. Everybody got through the day fine. Brandon Belt got a little action at first base and looked fine there, and he'll back up Aubrey Huff tomorrow when the LA Dodgers come to town. I'm told Juan Uribe may go to the Angels. The Dodgers have a split squad tomorrow, so Uribe may not be here at Scottsdale Stadium, but I'm sure the Giants, it's a matter of time before they cross paths with him again. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Edgar Renteria, who was in camp with the Reds, stopped by Scottsdale Stadium and was in the clubhouse for a while visiting guys today. In fact, he joked to Mike Murphy, so where's my locker? So he's got a sense of humor, and I know that the way that his contract negotiation went, some fans aren't too happy about that or his outlook on the Giants' offer to bring him back. But within the Giants clubhouse, within their players, the fraternity of players, they still hold him in the highest regard and don't hold any ill will against him. So that's about it for today. Busy day, first day, a lot of excitement, a lot of people out here, and maybe it'll be a little calmer tomorrow. But we'll be sure to break down everything that happened on tomorrow night's rundown. So until then, we'll see you then, and thanks for tuning in.